All right, Turbles Celbor here with something a little different. Today I'm going to be playing a mobile game on Android 11. So I'm going to be playing Seedship, which is a free-to-play game without any ads or anything on the Android Play Store. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So this is a text-based game, and hopefully this recording works. So, and I will read the text out loud. When they knew the Earth was doomed, they built a ship. Less like an ark, and more like a seed, dormant but with potential. In its heart, 1,000 colonists frozen in sleep, chosen and trained to start civilization again on a new world. To control the ship, they created an artificial intelligence, not human, but made to think and feel like one, because only something that thought and felt like a human could be entrusted with the future of the human race. Its task is momentous but simple: to evaluate each planet the ship encounters and decide whether to keep searching or end its journey there. The ship's solar sails propel it faster and faster into the darkness, and the AI listens as the transmissions from ground control fade and then cease. When all is quiet, it enters hibernation to wait out the first stage of its long journey. After millennia of slow travel, the Seedship AI awakes. Hoping against hope, it trains its receiver on the direction of Earth's sun, but it is as silent as any of the other myriad of dead stars, save for the 1,000 frozen colonists cradled in its shielding and life support systems. The human race is now extinct. So let me do a systems check. All right. 1,000 colonists. All systems look like they're green, except for surface probes. Come on, surface probe. We got 10 surface probes. Okay. Any damage or malfunctions during the journey should have woken the AI from its hibernation, but it is still anxious as it runs self-diagnostic programs. The sleep chambers are all functioning, the colonists within them alive, or at least capable of being revived from their frozen stasis. Sensors functioning, surface probes responding, landing and construction systems ready for the one time they will be used, scientific and cultural databases intact, safely storing all that remains of humanity's knowledge and art. All right, so I'm going to scan the first planet that I've encountered. The seed ship is in orbit of a fifth planet of a main sequence star. Even a brief scan from orbit reveals more information than its builders could know from their Earth orbit based telescopes, but the AI has little use for scientific curiosity. It has only one concern: whether the planet would make a suitable new home for the human race. So, the way this game works is it's going to rate planets. And what's going to happen is it's going to decide, it's basically going to give me a list of whether or not things are good or bad, and then I have to either choose to found a colony or move on. So this planet has a marginal atmosphere, high gravity, it's very hot, trace amounts of water, poor resources. It does have a moon, vegetation and possible structures, but it's so freaking hot, I'm just going to move on. The eye judges the first planet to be unsuitable. It turns the scanners away, spreads its solar sails, and begins another long journey through the void. Okay, so now I'm going to get a random event. So the AI wakes to a wall of blinding brightness. The seed ship's course has taken it close to a supergiant star that has proved to be far hotter than the guidance system anticipated, and the ship is gathering heat faster than the radiator fins can radiate it away. The AI must shut down part of the heat regulation system before the entire system catastrophically fails. So I have to choose what's going to die. I have to basically cause damage. So I could allow the sleep chambers to overheat, allow the scanner module to overheat, allow the landing and construction module to overheat, or the data storage module to overheat. I'm going to allow the sleep chambers to overheat. Let's see. The AI channels excess heat into the sleep chambers. The heat regulation system recovers as the ship blah 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 blah. As the ship moves away from the super hot star, but not before 100 colonists have sustained tissue damage too severe to keep them successfully revived. Dang! Now I only got 900 people left. Oof, that's not good. The seed ship enters orbit of the fifth planet of a blue supergiant star. Ugh. The star's light reflects off a nearby nebula. Um, Poor resources, no water, very hot. Yeah, let's move on. Uh, let's see. The seed ship's course takes it through a dense star-forming nebula. Hundreds of infant suns illuminate the clouds of interstellar gas and fill the sky with riotous color. Clouds twist through the complex gravitational interference patterns and glitter with heavy elements formed in the death throes of the last generation of stars. The scanners were not designed to deal with this level of input, and it is threatening to overwhelm them. If the AI continues to use the scanners to navigate, It can tell the temperature scanner will be damaged. Shutting off the scanners, however, will leave the ship vulnerable to collisions in this crowded area of space. I'm going to keep the scanners running and take, oof, a 35 temperature sensor damage. The AI continues to use the scanners to navigate. The temperature scanner overloads, but the seed ship passes safely through the star-forming nebula. All right. Temperature failed, ice-covered surface, breathable atmosphere. A lot of animal life. I'm going to launch a probe. All right. The surface probes fill in the gaps. No resources and it's cold. It's got a metal-rich moon. And it's got poisonous plants. So the probe finds alien plants. It tests a sample and finds that they would be highly poisonous to humans. First planet of a red supergiant star is very cold. The probe encounters numerous amirals. After analyzing their behavior, it concludes that some of the species have the potential to be useful to humans as meat sources or beasts of burden. I yeah, I'm not liking the lack of resources and the poisonous animals. It's got low gravity. Okay. The probe okay. The probe investigates an area of regular plant growth and finds it being deliberately cultivated by one species using sophisticated stone tools. The most powerful nations are ruled by priest kings who strictly control the flow of knowledge, leaving the general population ignorant and illiterate. Oh no! Oh! Oppressive theocracy. The probe conducts a high altitude surveys and finds settlements and signs of intelligent activity everywhere it looks. It seems that there's no part of the planet untouched by the native civilization. Okay, so the surface probe's mission is complete and it shuts down. Oh, the metal rich moon, but I'm gonna move on. As it moves from star to star, the seed ship is gathering more data about extrasolar planets than its builders could give it. It's designed to learn from its data in order to predict which stars are likely to have desirable planets. The seed ship has now gathered enough data to upgrade one of its sensors to work at interstellar distances, so the guidance system can avoid planets that sensors reveal to be undesirable. Damage to the sensor may still result in the seed ship arriving at an unusable planet. Darn it. Okay, so let's see. I can upgrade the atmosphere scanner, the gravity scanner, the temperature scanner, which is damaged, the water scanner, and the resources scanner. I'm going to upgrade the water scanner because I think water is important. A faint radio signal wakes the AI from its hibernation. It's coming from directly ahead from the seed ship's destination planet. The signal is a series of mathematical pulses, not unlike the seed ship's own interspecies greeting. In order to reach the seed ship from this distance, it would have had to have been set by a high-powered transmitter targeted at the seed ship's exact position. The seed ship is decelerating for its final approach to the planet, but is still hundreds of years of travel time away. Let's reply with an interspecies greeting. The aliens respond with a more complex signal, and within a few decades, the seed ship and planet based aliens have established communications. The conversation lasts hundreds of years, with generations of scientists on the aliens' end. Soon, the aliens have an entire branch of science dedicated to studying the seed ship's messages. The AI learns that the civilization is in the atomic age with sophisticated electronics but no true computers. Despite the seed ship's example of a higher technology, the civilization does not advance significantly during the seed ship's approach. The AI learns that the planet's major nations are nominally democratic, but the scientists on the other end of the conversation seem to be cynical about the intentions of their elected leaders. The aliens are fascinated by the seed ship and sympathetic with the plight of its cargo. Before the seed ship enters the star system, the scientists relay that their government is extending a formal welcome to the human refugees and set aside a place for them to settle. Oh no. Oh. Seedship enters orbit of the first moon of a gas giant orbiting a white dwarf star. The system is close to a star-forming region, which is visible as a glowing cloud that fills half the sky. Planet-wide ocean, resource rich, gravity very high, atmosphere non-breathable. It's no good. I gotta move on. Sorry, aliens. Sorry. The AI wakes to find that the seed ship's course is curving sharply through the darkness of space, as if caught in the gravity well of a star. The source of the gravity is invisible to scanners, but there's only one thing it could be: a black hole. It is already too late to escape the gravity well without pushing the main engine well past its safety limit, which could damage any of the ship's systems. Alternatively, the AI calculates that ejecting two sleep chambers would lighten the ship enough that the engine's normal thrust could take it out of danger. Let's push the main engines past their safety limit. I've already killed 100 people. All right, the AI commands the engine to exceed its maximum output, ignoring its electronic screams of protests. The ship feels as if it's shaking itself apart, but when the burn is complete and the seed ship is coasting safely away from the black hole, the AI finds that its builders gave the engine a generous safety margin and the overload has caused no damage. Oh, thank God. Seed ship enters orbit of the eighth moon of a gas giant orbiting a red dwarf star. A spectacular comet spreads its tail across the sky. Non-breathable atmosphere, moderate gravity, very hot, planet-wide ocean, no resources, possible structures. Well, I'm going to move on. There's too many reds. As it enters a new system, the seed ship is struck by a micrometeorite. Let's see. Its speck of cosmic dust, far too small for the navigation system to detect from a distance, but traveling with enough velocity to pierce the seed ship's armor like a bullet. It hits the construction system, sending fragments of machinery glittering into space. Gross. I'm going to need that. Seedship enters orbit of the fourth planet of a blue supergiant star. The star's light reflects off a nearby nebula. Non-breathable, very low, scan failed, planet-wide ocean, no resources, no anomalies. Let's move on. All right, so the Seedship has gathered enough data to upgrade another one of its sensors. If I upgrade the let's see, upgrade the water scanner to work better at long range. It'll seek out planets with both land and water. I'm gonna upgrade it to max. Oh, let's see. As the seed ship enters the new system's outer cometary cloud, the collision avoidance system detects a fast moving comet surrounded by a cloud of smaller ice fragments. The large comet is on a collision course with the sleep chambers. The seed ship could avoid it entirely, but then hit one of the smaller fragments, and the collision avoidance system cannot predict which part of the ship that fragment would hit. I don't want to lose more folks, so I'm going to avoid the comet. Oh, not the cultural database. I changed course, but an ice fragment hit the cultural database. We don't know how to make beads anymore. Oh, corrosive atmosphere, gravity low. It's got oceans. That's nice. Temperature scan failed, no anomalies. Seed ship enters orbit at the eighth moon of a gas giant orbiting a yellow supergiant star. A small black hole orbits the star, pulling a thin streamer of star stuff from its. Oh, it's so pretty. Star stuff from its surface, which spirals into nothing. All right, I'm gonna move on. Let's see. The seed ship's course takes it through another star-forming nebula whose intense sensory impulses threaten to overload the gravity scanner. Keep the scanners running. Oh, see, it only took 22% damage. The AI continues to use the scanners to navigate. The gravity scanner overloads, but the seed ship passes safely through the star-forming nebula. All right, what do we got here? Toxic atmosphere. Oh, almost everything about this is good. The seed ship enters orbit of the eighth planet of a red supergiant star. The seed ship has found its way almost to the edge of the galaxy, and the universe appears to be split between a wall of darkness and a wall of light. Wow. Um, hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna launch a surface probe. I want to see what the anomalies are. Unstable geology. The planet is geologically unstable, and dangerous earthquakes are common everywhere on the surface. The surface probe's mission is complete, and it shuts down. Well, let's move on. Um. Well, I want to. Oh, wow. An alarm wakes the AI from its hibernation. A rogue asteroid is on a collision course with the ship. The automatic navigation system has failed to avoid it and has woken the AI to make the split second decision on how to deal with the impact. The asteroid is about to hit the atmosphere scanner. Um, there's no time to avoid it entirely, but if the AI fires the maneuvering thrusters to rotate the ship, it will instead hit the water scanner. I've already upgraded the water scanner, so let it hit the atmosphere scanner. Ow! The asteroid tears in the atmosphere scanner, sending fragments spinning away into space. All right. Wow, actually, this one's not too bad. The seed ship enters orbit of the eighth planet of a red dwarf star. The seed ship has found its way to almost the edge of the galaxy, and the universe appears split between a wall of darkness and a wall of light. Well, let's launch a surface probe. Surface probe sensors confirm the readings of the orbital scanners, and there's poisonous plants. And useful animals. Uh, it's resource poor, but it's got good gravity in oceans. It's a bit cold. Mm, I think I can do slightly better. I still have some probes, and I'm not like horrifically damaged. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna upgrade the resources scanner to work long range. Let's see. The Seedship is decelerating on its approach to the next system when it detects an unusually thick volume of interstellar dust in its path. Passing through the dust would likely mean several high-velocity collisions with dust particles. The AI could execute an emergency course change to avoid the dust. Um, but then the Seedship would pass by this system, and arrive at an effectively random one without benefiting from upgrades to the scanners. Well, let's just do an emergency course change. The AI rotates the ship and fires the main engine. It speeds safely past the dust cloud in the original target system and decelerates towards the first system it finds on the new course. All right, scanning. No anomalies. Atmosphere none. Oh wow, it was so crummy. The seed ship enters the orbit of the first planet of a blue supergiant star. The system is an area of dense interstellar dust which hides most of the brightness of the Milky Way. The seed ship went off course during its last journey, so the guided system was not able to use the upgraded scanners when selecting this planet. Yep. No anomalies, no water, nothing. Let's just move on. Okay, so the seed ship's damage control system wakes the AI. Okay. With a medium priority alert. There's structural weakness in the gravity scanner caused by the incessant wear of thousands of years of travel. The system is still intact for the moment, but when the seed ship decelerates into the next system, the vibration will shake the important components loose. So I'm going to reinforce it using a surface probe. The probe crawls its way across the ship's hull and clamps itself onto the gravity scanner, its sturdy body becoming the new superstructure keeping the loose components in place. The AI suspects that this improvised solution would have horrified the seed ship's designers. When the ship decelerates in the next planet's orbit, the probe manages to hold the gravity scanner together. Ha ha ha. What do we got here? Scan failed. Let's see. The seed ship enters orbit of the 10th planet of a blue supergiant star. A small black hole orbits the star, blowing a thin streamer of star stuff from its surface, which spirals into nothing. So, marginal gravity. Let's see. Marginal atmosphere, low gravity, unknown temperature, poor resources. But it's got oceans. I'm going to launch a surface probe. Ooh, very hot. Outstanding beauty. Wow. Let's see. The AI runs the probe's images of the surface through an aesthetic analysis routine and determines that humans would find the planet outstandingly beautiful. Edible plants. That's good. And then it's just got regular animal life. The probe encounters numerous animals. After analyzing their behavior, it concludes that they would be neither useful nor harmful to humans. Oh, we're so close. I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna move one. I'm gonna try a couple more times. I still got 5 probes. One of these things has got to fail. Each time the seed ship departs from a star system, its scanners are recalibrated to continue to return accurate information. The recalibration system is now decaying with age and is no longer able to maintain them all. The AI must choose which system should fail. Let's do the atmosphere scanner. Oof. As the seed ship accelerates into space, the atmosphere readings from the system is leaving become clouded with noise. All right. The seed ship enters orbit of the 7th planet of a blue supergiant star. This planet's orbit is at an angle to the system's ecliptic, suggesting it might be an extrasolar capture, the victim of an unimaginably violent primordial collision. Launch a surface probe. It's got marginal gravity and stuff, but we got rich and I got ice caps, unstable geology, and poisonous plants. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to move on, see what we can get. I want to upgrade the resources scanner. So now the nice thing about upgrading the resources scanner, if there's rich resources and they have the whole scientific database, they can handle pretty much any situation, any like bad planet problems. The AI wakes to a query from the automatic guidance system. Normally, the system is able to analyze data from the navigation sensors and make any necessary changes to the ship's course. But this time it has encountered readings that it cannot make sense of and has welcomed the AI to make a decision. According to some sensors, there's something ahead on the ship's course, but according to others, the course ahead is clear. There's something there. It's close enough that avoiding it would mean changing course and arriving at a new system without the benefit of upgraded scanners. I'm going to stay on course. Ah! By the time the sensors get a clear picture of the utterly black, unreflective dust cloud, it is too late to avoid it. The Seedship continues towards the target system, but a dust particle impacts the surface probes. All right, what do we got? We got rich resources. We got oceans, temperature very hot, possible structures. Oh, I only got 3 probes left, but let's launch a surface probe. Marginal atmosphere, very low gravity, very hot temperature. Poisonous plants, and high-tech ruins. Ooh, the probe investigates some of the possible structures that the Seedship observed from orbit and finds they are ruins left by a vanished intelligent species. The ruins contain advanced technological artifacts, some of which are still functioning, and scientific databases that could be decoded. Alright, I am going to found this colony, even though there's some things that suck. I think it's going to be okay. Let's found a colony. The decision is the culmination of the AI's existence. It cannot make it lightly. Founding a colony will end the Seedship's journey and make this planet humanity's new home. Oh, right. And it's the black hole. Let's see. Third planet of a white dwarf star is a black hole next to it. All right. Here we go. Confirm. The landing system controls the seed ship's descent and it splashes gently down into the ocean off the shore of one of the planet's continents. The surviving colonists awake from their sleep chambers and survey their new home. Forests of impossibly slender alien plants reach kilometers into a pale blue sky. They build a memorial to the 100 colonists who do not survive the journey and name their new world Midas because of its plentiful mineral resources. The colonists begin constructing a settlement with the aid of the sea ship's damaged construction robots. Um, they can leave the ship wearing minimal breathing gear and refrigerated suits to protect them from the lead melting heat. But breathing gear failures lead to 18 colonists asphyxiating, and 164 more die when one of their shelters melts in the heat. The very low gravity makes the work more difficult than it would have been on Earth, and 130 colonists die of gravity related health problems. Oh my god, they build their settlement near a river that flows into one of the planet's oceans, which provides them with all the water they need. The planet's plant life is extremely poisonous to humans, and 218 colonists die before they can clear it away from their settlement. Fuck. Oof. With their settlement complete and food supply secured, the colonists mount an expedition to the nearby ruins. The explorers find advanced alien machines, some of them still functioning. Reverse engineering these machines will advance their science beyond the level that Earth's civilization had reached when the seed ship was launched. The planet is rich in metals and other resources, and the scientific database contains a wealth of information on how to make use of them. The colonists use alien scientific knowledge to create a level of technology far beyond the dreams of people who built the seed ship. Although parts of the cultural database are missing, it still contains much historical information to instruct the colonists on building of their society, and much of the art and literature to inspire them. The heavy losses sustained by the colonists make building a new society more difficult. The colony develops into a high-tech police state in which the population lives under constant surveillance by the untouchable ruling class. No! The slightest dissent is violently put down. The surviving cultural database is preserved, but access is strictly limited by the state. Oh no. Midas's impossibly slender alien plants reach kilometers into a pale blue sky. The colonists live in towering, high-tech cities under airtight domes, beside rivers that flow into planet's oceans. The streets are filled with security cameras and patrolled by armed police who violently put down any hint of a dissent. In the first city stand monuments to the 100 colonists who did not survive for journey and the 530 more colonists who died building the first settlement and the seed ship AI that guided humanity to its new home. Wow. Oh my god. That's really sad. It's like a post-singularity dystopian police state. That's that's really sad. Yeah, well, that's Seed Ship. It's pretty cool. It's completely free and it's on Google Play, so check it out.